Good morning. On today's agenda, we have 17 nominations listed. We'll vote on 11 of them. We vote on Rebecca Tabelson, Circuit Judge, David Bragdon, Lindsay Ann Freeman, Matthew Orso, Susan Courtwright Rodriguez to be district judges in North Carolina. We'll also vote on Sarah Carter to be Director of National Drug Control Policy and 5 nominees to be U.S. Attorney. Each of these nominees is highly qualified. I look forward to supporting each of them. We'll hold over the remaining nominees listed on the agenda. Before we go to our agenda, I want to address the surge of political violence and domestic terrorism from predominantly left-wing groups. In recent weeks, our country has been torn apart by numerous tragedies: Charlie Kirk assassination, sniper attacks, ICE facility, Texas, a vehicle attacking federal law enforcement officers, Chicago, the threatened bombing of a Catholic mass here in D.C., the murder of the former Minnesota Speaker of the Minnesota House. These are only a few of many instances of political violence, and although we don't all know all the details surrounding each event, it's obviously our country is facing a crisis. Violent crime should be met with equally strong response. Instead, we've seen judges and politicians place criminals ahead of victims. Just last week, we had a Biden-appointed judge give lenient sentence to a man who attempted to murder Justice Kavanaugh and other members of the Supreme Court for their decision in Dobbs. So what kind of a message does this send? And I hope we can all agree on this committee and people that aren't on the committee that we have to send precisely the wrong message when we don't give this the proper attention and speak up against this sort of extremist activity by political leaders. Now, we've seen horrific text messages promoting murder of Republicans, their children, police officers from the Democratic candidate for Virginia Attorney General. This is, of course, an obscene thing to be talking about. Every elected official should be willing to stand up and say it's unacceptable for a candidate for the state's chief law enforcement officer to encourage and condone that sort of violence. Now I'll go to our oversight hearing. We've repeatedly heard from Democrats that the current DOJ has diverted resources away from crime to immigration. I want to speak why that isn't true. As General Bondi testified, federal law enforcement has assisted Homeland Security in taking thousands of criminal aliens off the street, and we hear there's been less drug prosecutions. Well, of course, there are going to be less prosecutions when you're taking criminals off the streets and deporting them. Just proves how effective this administration has been in securing our borders and our country. And in regard to diverting resources, we never heard a peep from the other side when the Biden FBI used a special operation group, a unit that's reportedly supposed to deal with terrorists, to surveil and publicly arrest Peter Navarro. At the hearing, I also spoke about the Biden FBI targeting 8 Republican senators' personal cell phones for tolling data, and including senators on this very committee. This was done as part of Arctic Frost, a politically weaponized investigation. The FBI told us many of the records associated with this matter are hidden behind grand jury secrecy rules. Attorney General Bondi must take immediate steps to seek a waiver and produce those records. I urge my Democratic colleagues to join us in further uncovering this unconscionable breach of the previous administration and hold accountable those involved in that wrongdoing. I also want to address a request for the committee to hold oversight hearings on Arctic Frost and Jack Smith. We're not ready yet to do that. We've yet to receive enough records from the Justice Department. I've requested records, but the department hasn't come through with the volume needed. Before public hearings, the foundation needs to be set and strong. And I want to remind the Justice Department that this excuse they use on client privilege doesn't apply to Congress. I don't want to receive a bunch of redacted information. I want the truth and nothing but the truth, so we can be prepared for whatever follows on. Rest assured, this investigation is yielding results thanks to whistleblowers. I've done 4 public document productions about Arctic Frost, starting with the information that's been made public. It's exposed historic political misconduct. As a result, the FBI is investigating, has fired agents for misconduct, and the CR-15 unit at the Washington Field Office, which originated Arctic Frost, has been shut down by this administration. So there's already been accountability because of Director Patel, and I would expect more to come. But once we get the information from the FBI, it seems to get lost in the bureaucracy at DOJ, and I want that red tape cut so we can get this information, make it public.